You learned something?
From an athlete?
Hey, athlete. Playing in Asia is like, for me, like going home, because obviously my mom was born and raised in Thailand, and having a Thai mother, I understand the culture, and for me, I'm very comfortable in Asia because of that, and so every time I go to Asia, it just feels like it's something very familiar to me because it's how I grew up. My dad was working, my mom was always home, so my mom basically raised me, so I was raised basically in an Asian household. We're all looking for something that's going to help us hit the ball better, and that's whether it's the best players in the world or it's the weekend warrior. We're all trying to hit the golf ball better, trying to get the ball in the hole faster, and that's always more enjoyable. Hitting the ball further, carrying over bunkers. These are all things that we want to be able to do, and we're no different than any of you guys who play the game. We're looking for something to make us better, and something that we all can relate to. I'm part of that other generation. You see a lot of the kids now, they just tee it up and just hit it as hard as they possibly can. But that's a different generation. They didn't grow up with the smaller heads and a lot of balls where you had to hit the ball out of the middle or it was going to dance all over the place with a gear effect. I started my teens with a 1-iron, my 20s with a 2-iron. You get it, right? 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm trying to get to 11 with my 80s, When these guys build product and put it in front of me, it's going to look very different to me than it is to a guy like Rory. Different generations, different lofts, different eye sets. So I've been lucky enough to have had Mikey here and Rick as well grow up in the same era where the lofts were weaker, and I never really changed from that. I haven't changed from that. So they know that what that looks like. That's what they grew up playing. This day and age where these guys are hitting wedges 150, 155 because it's 45 degrees. That's a totally different look. I picked up Rory's wedge last night. I'm like, holy cow, it's about my 9-iron. And it is. So it's a different look. It's a different feel, different look. I can tell you what it feels like. I can tell you what it feels like through the dirt. I can tell you what it feels like throughout the entire motion of the golf swing. What that ball should be doing and it's not doing because of this, this, and this. And then I articulate my feels, and they put numbers to it. And say, okay, well, this is off, off, off. And he goes, grinds away, and I put it back down. I hit it. I'm like, ooh, hey, we're onto something. And then he goes, 5 different 7-irons and grinds them all differently. And we start hitting them, and then here we are. And then we created these. So that's that to me is fun. We have different conditions, but we all have this need to have something that looks good in the playing position first. If it doesn't look good in playing position, we're not going to hit it. And then once it looks good, now does it feel good and does it perform the way that I want it to perform? Well, I was joking with Rory last night. His irons are so upright to me that I'm standing there, my hand on my leg to get into position that, dude, you're like 4 feet tall, and how do you stand up to these things? So again, where the banter is going back and forth, but. What I'm trying to say is that everyone's different in how they play, but we're all trying to be better. And that's from the pros to the weekend warrior. We're always trying to get a little bit better. That one shot that brings us back. I've been excited to be a part of this whole evolutionary process at Nike. We've grown a lot. We've grown together. They've helped me win, and I think that I've inspired them to keep pushing it and keep getting better product, and I think in the end, I think we all win. He handmade all my irons, and we had an ability to actually make him a mold of them, and I said, no, you just keep making them handmade. They're doing just fine. So that's the type of trust that I have in Mike, and he's earned that. Be able to hand make every single iron that I played, and I'd much rather have that than some machine make it. I trust his hands, I trust his eyes, and he knows what I like to see and what I like to feel, and that's how it works.
It's fantastic. I think we're going to end it there. I'm going to thank these guys. That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.